This video is going to make a lot of people angry, but fellow PvE lords, listen closely. Sometimes you just want to sail about the seas, collecting treasure from the islands and stay clear of any other pirates, as when you're not wanting to put up a fight, you know these encounters will not go your way. So instead, I figured out a way that can beat those PvP sweats whilst leaving you safe with all of your loot. So for more PvE tips, or maybe see me turn into a PvPer, don't forget to subscribe and like the video before we get into this tale. Getting straight into it, I wanted to test out one of the mermaid shrines, so I swam down deep until I came across a similar structure to what I had seen at the treasuries previously. Upon getting inside, however, that is where I noticed that these would turn out to be puzzles. As I entered into a room in which I had begun to climb my way to the top, I began to see all of the contraptions and jumping puzzles in which I had to use, and so I got to work. Using pulleys and capstans, I hopped over the moving platforms whilst taking on the skeletons and creatures of the depths, traversing this area and making my way higher and higher. I entered a room facing off more of these monsters, until after they were dealt with, I found at the top a very small amount of treasure, which I really hoped that this was not all that I was getting, and if this new path led me out, I would not be doing another one of these shrines again. But luckily it was not, as this shrine continued on and there was more jumping, wheel turning, almost falling, but finally reaching the top, spying a small but humble prize with at least a chest of ancient tributes there, waiting for me at the top. Was this all worth it though? Sure, it was fun. I'm not sure if I'd do this specific shrine again willingly, but if you're waiting for the PvP, don't worry, that's coming right now. Taking the mermaid statue back to my ship, I quickly checked the map, noticing a Reaper behind a nearby fort. As expected, there was no world event active there, so I knew they were on my ship. I threw a blunderbomb into my crow's nest, and there he was. We fought and tussled, and after he sent me to the Ferry of the Damned, a couple of times, I managed to get him into the sea, where I finished him off with one final shot. Believing I was safe now, I headed over to the mermaid in order to collect my treasure and get out of there before the Reaper came back. But there was another mermaid near my ship, so that meant there was still one more here. Luckily, I was able to take him out much quicker with a shot and a couple of slashes, but knowing that Reaper would be on its way, I had to move fast and pick up all of the treasure quick, and just as I did so, they were right behind me as I dropped sails and sped off, taking a few hits from their cannons as the chase was now on. As I mentioned at the start though, I was not looking for a fight here. I was laid back chilling and not looking for any kind of conflict, but in the Sea of Thieves, sometimes it doesn't work that way, and a fight comes to you whether you want it or not. But all the same, that means I can do what I want. So I sailed away, having a friend join me as we sailed quickly in the opposite direction. And as we passed Port Merrick, we each grabbed the treasure and hopped off as I sold one of the items, but my friend was having some trouble, so I jumped in and helped him, slashing through the other pirate as I grabbed the chest of ancient tributes and sold. Then we carried on doing this until eventually our enemies gave up, disappearing, but as we sold all of the loot, the galley came by, beginning to fire upon us, but we had already sold everything, so I did not mind as I was sent to the Ferry of the Damned. This just goes to show that you don't have to do as much PvP as expected. If you want to sail away and waste the time of pirates hunting you down, go for it. But expect them to be pretty mad at you. However, they can't complain. If you don't want to fight, you don't have to fight. But if you enjoyed this, please be sure to hit subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video, and we'll see you in the next tale. Arrgh!